Tires screeched. Isabella's Bentley stopped inches from the child in the street. A figure in tattered clothing swept the little girl to safety before Isabella could breathe. The man's weathered jacket hung loose on his frame, but his movements were precise, protective. Isabella stumbled from her car. "Is she?" "She's fine." He knelt beside the crying child, his voice cutting through her panic with unexpected calm. "You're okay, sweetheart? Where's your mom?" A frantic woman appeared, gathering her daughter with tear-stained gratitude. She tried to press money into the man's hand. He shook his head, smiling, a smile that somehow reached his ocean-blue eyes despite the dirt on his cheek. When they left, Isabella finally found words. "You saved her life." He turned, and something in his gaze made her forget to breathe. Intelligence. Nothing she expected. Right place, right time. "You should watch the crosswalks here, it gets busy." "I know, She stopped. Why was she explaining herself to a stranger? "Thank you. Can I buy you dinner?" "Not looking for charity." "It's gratitude." The persistence surprised her. "There's a diner 2 blocks away. Please." He studied her like he could see past her designer clothes to something raw underneath. Finally he nodded. "I'll buy my own coffee." "Deal." She extended her hand. "Isabella." His handshake was warm, calloused. "Ethan." The diner smelled of coffee and home cooking. Stairs followed them to a booth, but Isabella lifted her chin, a gesture perfected in countless boardrooms. "You don't have to do this," Ethan said quietly. "People are staring." "Let them." She meant it. They talked over burgers and fries. Ethan spoke about philosophy, literature, city life, with an eloquence that held her captive. He asked about her work, actually listened, asked questions no one at her galas ever bothered with. "You read Dostoevsky?" She couldn't hide her surprise when he quoted Crime and Punishment. "Libraries free." A slight smile. "And time is one thing I have plenty of." The sadness in those words tugged at something deep in her chest. Here was a man who'd clearly fallen hard, yet maintained his dignity. It was rare. Everything her curated world wasn't. That night, in her penthouse apartment, the $20 million skyline view felt hollow. She poured wine, replaying their conversation, and realized she was smiling. She went back the next day. And the next. It became routine. Isabella would finish meetings early, change into simpler clothes, and drive to where they'd met. Sometimes she found him reading on a bench. Other times at the community kitchen, serving food with quiet competence. "You're back again," Ethan observed one afternoon as she approached with coffee. "I brought reinforcements." Their fingers brushed. Warmth spread through her. "Walk today." They strolled through the park. Ethan pointed out details she'd never noticed. Light through trees, children's laughter mixing with birdsong, the elderly couple feeding ducks every Tuesday at 3. "You really see things," she murmured. "When you slow down, there's a lot to see." His gaze shifted. "You're always rushing. Even standing still, your mind races." The accuracy stung. That's what it takes to succeed. At what cost? She had no answer. Their meetings deepened. Isabella shared things she'd never told anyone. Her loneliness, her fear that people only saw her money, her desperate wish to be valued for herself. Ethan listened without judgment. "Money can't buy authenticity," he said one evening over shared pizza. "But it can make you forget to look for it." "Is that what you think I've done?" "I think you're remembering. That's why you keep coming back." He was right. With Ethan, she wasn't Isabella Hartwell, billionaire CEO. She was just Isabella. A woman who laughed at his humor, debated literature, and felt more alive than she had in years. If you're enjoying this, hit that like button and subscribe. But complications arose. Her best friend Monica cornered her at a charity gala. "Bella, we need to talk about this homeless man. His name is Ethan." "I don't care. Do you know what people are saying? That you've lost your mind, that he's using you." "He won't even let me buy him dinner most of the time," Isabella interrupted. "If he's using me, he's terrible at it." But the words planted seeds. Isabella began noticing things. How Ethan sometimes disappeared for hours with vague explanations. The expensive watch she'd glimpsed before he quickly covered it. The way he spoke about business with insider knowledge that seemed wrong for someone living on the streets. One afternoon, she arrived early to find him on his phone, his back turned. His voice was different, commanding, authoritative. I don't care about logistics, make it happen. The merger closes Friday or we lose the advantage. The pause. Tell the board I'll handle it personally. He turned, startled to see her. That was just a friend. A friend who needs merger help? Her heart pounded. Ethan, what's going on? It's complicated. Try me. But he wouldn't explain. For the first time, there was a wall between them. The truth came during a board meeting. Isabella's assistant placed a competitive analysis folder on the table. She flipped through absently until a photograph stopped her cold. Ethan. In a three-piece suit, clean-shaven, hair-styled. Caption. Ethan Cole, CEO of Cole Enterprises, announces aggressive expansion. Cole Enterprises, one of the biggest companies in the country. Her rival. And Ethan was its billionaire CEO. Isabella's hands trembled. She excused herself, locked herself in her office, and let the tears come. Why would he pretend? Was everything a lie? Corporate espionage? For 3 days, she buried herself in work, trying to drown the hurt. On the 4th day, her secretary buzzed. Ms. Hartwell, there's a gentleman here about Ethan Cole. He's insistent. Send him away. He says he is Ethan Cole. Her breath caught. Send him up. The elevator doors opened. Ethan stood there in a tailored suit, every bit the CEO, but with those same ocean blue eyes. Isabella, let me explain. Explain what? She stayed behind her desk. How you been lying for months. How you made me a fool. I never lied about what mattered. He stepped closer, raw emotion breaking through. Everything between us was real. You pretended to be homeless. I was trying to escape. The words burst out desperately. Do you know what it's like never knowing if people want you or your money? To wonder if every smile, every conversation is transactional? I was drowning. So I walked away. For a little while, I wanted to be invisible. To be seen for who I am, not what I have. The words resonated painfully. Wasn't that exactly her fear? You should have told me, she whispered. When you knew I was falling for you. I was scared. His composure cracked. Scared that once you knew, you'd see me differently. That I'd become just another rich guy, another corporate rival. I was selfish and I'm sorry. I fell in love with a man who saved a child and quoted Dostoevsky and saw beauty in ordinary moments. Her voice broke. Was any of that real? All of it. He closed the distance, stopping inches away. The money, the companies, that's what I do, not who I am. The man you met, who walked with you and shared pizza on church steps, that's who I am. That's who I want to be with you. Tears slipped down her cheeks. How can I trust that? Because I'm here. Not hiding anymore. His hand gently wiped her tears. Standing in your office, in this suit, telling you I'd give it all up if it meant keeping what we had. That connection, that authenticity, it's worth more than every dollar in my account. She closed her eyes, feeling truth war with betrayal. When she opened them, she saw not the CEO, but Ethan. Just Ethan. I need time. I understand. He stepped back, respecting her space. But Isabella? What I said about forgetting to look for authenticity. I was talking about myself too. You reminded me why real connection matters. Why being seen is worth the risk of being hurt. For 2 weeks, Isabella reflected. About who she'd become, about her walls, about the emptiness that haunted her success. About Ethan's deception, but also his reasons. She'd hidden parts of herself too, tested him to see if he was real. They'd both been protecting themselves with different masks. The truth? She missed him. Missed their conversations, how he challenged her worldview, the feeling of being truly known by someone who understood the isolation of wealth and power. She made a decision. Isabella showed up at Cole Enterprises unannounced, dressed simply in jeans and a sweater. Minutes later, she was in his office. Ethan stood when she entered, hope and fear warring in his expression. I've been thinking, she began steadily despite her racing heart, about authenticity, trust, what really matters. He waited. You hurt me, but I understand why. She took a breath. I fell in love with you when I thought you had nothing because you made me feel like I had everything. Not my money, not my company. Isabella, the woman who was lonely and desperately wanting to be seen. You are seen, Ethan said softly. I know. She smiled through tears. And I see you too. Not the man who saves children and finds beauty in small moments. The man brave enough to walk away from everything to find something real. Does this mean? It means I'm choosing to trust you. I'm choosing us. The real us. Ethan crossed the room, pulling her into his arms. Isabella melted into the embrace, feeling the rightness settle into her bones. Not perfection, but truth. Not a fairy tale, but something real and messy and worth fighting for. I love you, he murmured. The CEO who terrifies her board and the woman who cries at sunset. I love you too. The homeless philosopher and the corporate titan. When they pulled apart, his expression turned mischievous. What now? Merge our companies? Isabella laughed freely. Absolutely not. We're rivals. I plan to crush you in the marketplace. Is that so? I thought love conquered all. Love conquers all, she agreed, kissing him softly. But business is business. They built their relationship on honesty. Ethan took her to the community kitchen, introducing her to people he'd helped. Isabella shared her world carefully, maintaining balance between public personas and private selves. 3 months later, they stood together at a gala benefiting homeless services. They donated substantial sums but committed more time and expertise to address systemic issues. Look at us, Isabella murmured. Both dressed up, playing our parts. The difference is, Ethan replied, taking her hand, now we know who we are underneath. She squeezed his hand, grateful for the journey. She'd sought connection and found love. Sought authenticity and discovered truth. Not the fairy tale version, but the real version where two imperfect people chose each other despite complications. As evening wound down, Ethan pulled her to a quiet balcony overlooking the city. The same city that witnessed their deception and truth, pain and healing. I have something to tell you. Her heart skipped. What? I'm stepping back from coal enterprises. Promoting my seal. Ethan, you don't have to. I want to. He cupped her face. I've run that company 15 years. It's consumed my life. I don't want that anymore. I want balance. Time for things that matter. Community work, relationships, moments that make life worth living. Time for you. Are you sure? Never been more sure. His thumb brushed her cheek. You taught me there's more to life than building an empire. I love you, she breathed. I love you too. He kissed her thoroughly, promising everything they'd build together. Isabella rested her head on his shoulder, looking at the glittering city. Somewhere down there, in their neighborhood, life continued. Children played, people struggled and survived and found joy. The real world, messy and beautiful and authentic. Thank you for seeing me, she whispered. Ethan smiled, the same warm smile that captured her attention before she knew about his money or secrets. Thank you for giving a homeless man a chance. They stood together as night deepened, two people who'd found what wealth could never buy, genuine connection, honest love, and courage to be truly seen. Not the beginning or the end. Simply them, choosing each other, one authentic moment at a time. Did this story touch your heart? Like this video, drop a comment about your favorite moment, and subscribe for more stories celebrating real love and authentic connection.